Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question for the Minister of DTI. Prior to the winter season, have you ordered the fleet to be adjusted to cut the drop that the plows or the salt trucks are allowed to drop by 500 kilograms per kilometer down over the usual 1,000 kilograms per kilometer? Have you ordered the fleet to be adjusted to drop to 250 kilograms of salt over the same over last year of 350 kilograms down to 250? And if you ordered the fleet to adjust the blast, which is the prior on the hills, the 1,000 kilograms per kilometer down to 750, making our hills even more dangerous, all at the same time just to save $1 million and to put the people in my riding in danger.
Mr. Speaker, I'm really happy to get a question because I've been waiting because I have lots of great news to share with New Brunswickers. First thing I'll say to the member's question opposite is that safety of the people that travel on our highways and our roads is the #1 priority of our department. And it's the #1 priority of the great team of snow fighters and winter maintenance crew and all of our crew that work day and night to keep our roads clear and safe so that people can get to and from work and travel to visit their family and their loved ones on our highways. So again, I want to thank the crews of DTI for the wonderful job that they do day in and day out, keeping the public of the province, people of the province of New Brunswick safe on our highway systems. So the only thing that's been cut, Mr. Speaker, was the austerity years when the Leader of the Opposition was the Finance Minister. I'll get more into that in the next 2 questions.
Member for Carleton York.
Mr. Speaker, what has been cut has been ordered by DTI. The trucks have been brought in. The gauges in the trucks have been readjusted so they only drop half as much sand on our sea roads. They have been adjusted so that the salt on our sea roads have been eliminated except for the hills. And on the hills, our salt has been dropped to a point that it's no longer viable to even get the school buses and stuff over that. You're not keeping our people safe. My people are dying. I've been to the visitations. They've been killed on our roads already this year. And so don't talk about what they're doing and how great we did in the past or whatever. You've adjusted the trucks that sand and salt the roads in my riding to a point that is no longer viable. Why would you make an adjustment to truck and lose the amount of salt and sand going in the road just to save $1 million?
Mr. Speaker, it's very unfortunate to hear those types of words coming from a supposed honourable member opposite, Mr. Speaker. I'll read some facts into the record. 481 million, 322 million, 383 million, 381 million. Those are the numbers for the capital budget under the former government, where the Leader of the Opposition was the Finance Minister. Fast forward to the 4 current years, 514 million, 524 million, 622 million, and this year's capital budget, $688 million. So the member opposite wants to talk about cutting and slashing. He wants to look right over down the aisle to the Leader of the Opposition, who has said time and time again his austerity ways of the past will be the ways of the future. So I think if the member opposite is concerned about safety of New Brunswickers, he better look to his left, Mr. Speaker, not to the members opposite.
Member for Carleton York.
Mr. Speaker, one thing I have in here is my honor. I am a credible member, and I have proven that over the years. And I don't take that from you or he or anybody else. Why are we buying salt from the Magdalene Islands that is no good? The salt is full of gravel, it's full of red. If you've ever been into any of our salt sheds, the sand is no good. You talk to the drivers, you talk to the people who are putting it on the road. You tell us on our sea roads that every now and again you will put a load of salt in with the sand if the supervisor says it's okay. Well, it's no good. is from St. John. The only good sand, the only good salt is coming out of Pugwash that is going into Shediac and Moncton. The rest of the province, we have garbage. It's not working the temperature. Why are we not buying the good salt and putting on our roads?
Honourable Minister, Department of Transportation and Infrastructure.
Mr. Speaker, again, safety is our #1 priority, Mr. Speaker. And the member opposite knows full well that the previous salt supplier notified the Department of Transportation that they wouldn't be able to fulfill their contract. So we did our due diligence. We put out a tender. We had 5 bids that came in. K&S Salt was awarded the tender to provide 150,000 metric tons of salt annually to support our winter maintenance program, Mr. Speaker. Member opposite asked if I'd been to any of the sheds. I've been to every one of the sheds, Mr. Speaker. Every one of the sheds that are operated by my team, I've been to. I've been there to tell them they don't got to worry about the austerity ways of Blaine Higgs because he's no longer in charge of the finances of the province, Mr. Speaker. So they know full well that we're going to continue to invest.
Order.
We're going to continue to invest in our highways and our roads and our bridges, unlike what they did when they were in government, Mr. Speaker.